Hulk Hogan. TMZ caught a clip of this from the crowd. Hulk Hogan was at a bar, perhaps imbibing in a little too much alcohol. Said, did anyone want to see him body slam Kamala Harris? And, people are giving him heat for this because they're saying, oh, really? You're going to body slam a woman? I wonder if the Hulkster is confused here and is talking about body slamming Kamala, whose real name is James Harris. This is Kamala Harris. As Hogan pronounced it, there is a non-zero chance that Hogan, like many people, may have confused the two of them and thinks it's 1986 and he's going to go body slam Kamala. Or it's 87 and he's going to body slam Kamala again.
What a wild coincidence that there was a guy with the last name Harris that was Kamala that
was Kamala that Hogan actually body slammed there from Daily Motion. He also faced them again in WCW when Kamala was part of the Dungeon of Doom. There is a non-zero chance that with all the news going around, Hulkster went, oh, I thought he was dead, brother. Kamala's back because James Harris did pass away almost exactly 4 years ago. This is just weird. The Hulkster is taking heat for this as expected.
I'll tell you what, Dom. From my perspective, Hogan was way over for a couple weeks. And then, he just kind of can't help himself to say or do something stupid. He just can't help himself. And at this point, it was the best part of it was when he goes, oh, I'm going to get some heat for that one, brother.
Right? So he knew it.
He knew it right away once he did the Hal thing. They were like, oh, I'm going to get some heat for that one, brother. He's just like, he's always in Hulk Hogan pro wrestler mode, and he's using all the backstage, carny wrestler terms like heat, and he's still saying brother.
Yes.
Yeah, he caught himself, and he was also hammering beers throughout the course of the night, as was shown in the footage. And the last time maybe, I want to say like a couple months ago, he had gone sober because he had found God and he stopped drinking alcohol, supposedly. But then, he's at this bar hammering beers. He does say right afterwards that it's just the beer talking. But from my experience, if I've had too much, I try to stay away from the mic. And I know this from experience of this show, when I could go out and I could tie one on and come in and try to do the show, and it's not gonna go well. So I try to abstain until the show is not happening. So
until the show is not, there is yes, there we have. Yes.
Yeah, he's chugging beers. He's not just drinking; he's hammering them.
Pro wrestling is real. You know the rest.
Yeah, pro wrestling.
Speaking of karaoke.
Yeah, let's transition.
What's your go-to karaoke song? Bryan Danielson was asked about this. This comes to us from WrestleZone. What's your go-to karaoke song? Are you a karaoke singer, John?
Not only am I a karaoke singer, I won a karaoke contest. No.
You have?
Yes, I have.
Oh, do tell. This is amazing, Cheap Heat.
Yes. I won a karaoke contest at a place called Pizza Pub in South Philadelphia. And if you've ever been to the Pizza Pub, it is a really suspect place. They've got below average pizza. They may or may not be dealing drugs there. I don't know what the deal is. It's very Italian South Philly vibe to it. But they did have a karaoke contest, and I did win it. And my go-to song is 8 Days a Week by the Beatles.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, taking it way back there to the Beatles. 8 days a week.
Yes. There was
Tell us in the chat, tell us in the comments, are you a karaoke participant, and what is your go-to song here? Bryan Danielson apparently has a great, he's put a great deal of thought into this. YMCA, except it's too long. You have to pick a song that people don't expect you to sing because you want it to be a little bit of a surprise. Apparently, his is 1999's I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
Is this a good selection for Bryan Danielson? Can you see him singing that?
It is interesting because he's a really big, fit guy.
Right.
But he is pretty worldly too. It's weird because it's a pop song, and you just wouldn't imagine this guy listening to pop. He's either listening to some sort of I feel like he'd be listening to some indie rock, or even just sounds of nature while he works out,
That's my sweet spot. Late 90s, early 2000s pop music. Although he says his musical taste also includes the rock genre and some 80s glam.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Oh, some 80s hair band stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we like that. Let's hear him doing some Twisted Sister, maybe some Whitesnake.
What's your karaoke song? You have to have one in the back pocket.
I have never done karaoke.
Really?
I've never done karaoke. I've been an indie musician, and I did a few covers in there, but I've never just done straight karaoke.
Now, as a musician, and you don't have to, you could tell me the truth here.
Okay.
As a musician, do you kind of put your nose up a little bit to it and say, I wouldn't do karaoke? It's a step down from what I would normally do.
Because I was not really a cover musician, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go out there and you're just playing covers for a few hours in a bar, then karaoke is just like leave your instrument at home and sing it. The only disadvantage that karaoke may present is because you're singing to the original tracks, the original music tracks, you have to be in the same key as the original singer.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I would do when I would play a cover song is I didn't care where the original song or the most popular recording was in. If I had to sing a cover song, my rule was that that's now my song, and I would move it into whatever key I thought allowed me to sing it the best. So I have no idea.
Thanks, Zach. We really appreciate that.
Thank you, Zach. What is your go-to karaoke song if you're still live streaming with us here?
Yeah, let us know what your what's your go-to karaoke song, Zach?
My problem for karaoke is maybe this Daniel Bryan problem that he brought up. It might be some of these songs are too long. Probably the song I covered the most when I was performing, just because it fit my voice and it fit my style anyway. I was kind of an Americana singer, rock and folk and blues, was Bob Dylan's Like a Rolling Stone. But that's in your 6-minute range there. It's way too much. Never back down, never give what?
I'll have to look that up.
Is that a song? I am not up on pop music. If that is your go-to karaoke song, link something for us in the chat there, Zach. I may want to listen to this song later just to get myself into your world of karaoke. But this is fair. We've already had some breaking news on this Don't Bury the Lead live stream here that John, you are not only a karaoke singer, but you are a title-winning karaoke singer. Do you still have the belt?
There was no belt. There was
no belt. I call shenanigans.
No belt. However, I was offered to go to the next round at some other bar because, you win and you go on to the next round. But
wow!
I got the impression, just to be fair, I got the impression there was nobody in the bar, and I had brought like 5 people, and there was maybe a total of like 9 people there. So they just gave it to me because I was with everybody. So they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, you won." I don't know, So I
Do
should.
not be ashamed of being a big draw.
Yeah, it was a draw. It was
Yeah.
it was one of the things. It was a big draw. So guess what? I ended up winning. When Roman Reigns helps Cody Rhodes, it's a quote. He said.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Very good. Yes. That's going to be an interesting storyline going forward. Is what happens with the bloodline, and is there any alliance at all between Roman and Cody now? But that's for a future pay per view. Speaking of pay per views, let's stick on
Oh,
Bryan Danielson here.
and Zach's got one more question for us. Who's your favorite WWE wrestler?
L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Yeah, that's us. We're we'll stick with LA Knight all day.
Honorable mentions to Sami Zayn and Gunther.
Yes, yes, yes.
Bryan Danielson has a huge match this weekend at All In, AEW's All In London, where he may have to retire if he loses to Swerve Strickland. They are playing this up as a huge, huge match. You watch AEW much more than I do.
Mm-hmm.
How big is this match? Are you pleased with the build? Does it feel like biggest pay-per-view of the year, which is what AEW is trying to make All In? This is their WrestleMania, or what TNA's, I guess maybe Slammiversary was, or things like what Halloween Havoc or Starcade may have been for WCW. Do you see AEW successfully building All In to be their standout, head and shoulders above the rest premium live event pay-per-view? And is the build for this main event to your satisfaction?
Yeah, it's been great. I watched the Go Home show on Wednesday, and everything's just come together so well. Their crowd was crazy because they were in Cardiff, Wales. So there was like one of those crazy, it was very good, and
The
everything's
UK crowd.
yeah. So
They're
they
getting
were.
ready for it. There's a soccer hooligan crowd.
It was a little stadium, and they were all fired up, and they're chanting and they're going crazy. MJF versus Will Ospreay. They did about a 15-minute promo, and it was excellent, excellent
All
stuff.
right.
MJF talking about his stepkid because he's got a stepson, and he's like, "I have a feeling your next son is also not going to be yours after I talk to your wife." Like, ridiculous, ridiculous thing to say. And then they say he goes, and then Will Ospreay says, "Get to Tony." He's like, "How much is the fine if I hit him? I know I get fined." They said it's $100,000, and he just stands there and he goes, "Screw it, I'll pay the money," and just wallops MJF. So yeah, so the crowd went nuts, and then they did like a tearaway brawl.
All right.
Yeah, so it was really good stuff. Osprey especially is special on the mic. He's very, very good. He reminds me a little bit of a British Stone Cold Steve Austin. So
That good. Okay.
oh yeah, he just has a lot of intensity, and he's very forward and loud. And yeah, he took some cheap shots at MJF and said he was a bad champion and that he was boring, and he actually was a bad champ. So it was like it's pretty deep. I was like, wow, he's kind of going in here.
Oh, it gets a little too real there. These last two articles come to us from WrestleZone.com. What do you think of the Bryan Danielson build here? Do you want him to see him lose and retire? He's talked about how having a young daughter now, his life is sort of at peace now. It was not really in 2015 and 2016 when he was forced to retire. But now I have a wonderful family. I'm really excited about spending time with them. It's a very different place to be when it's by choice rather than by force. He seems to be okay with it either way. What would you like to see? Do you think it's time for Bryan Danielson to just have one last fantastic throwdown and then hang him up?
Yeah. From my perspective, and maybe you could think about Zach's question here, but from my perspective, I think I would like to see him win. I think his wrestling at such a high level right now. I don't think he needs to retire, although it seems like, and I'm hoping that he's stringing people along to make it seem like he would retire for the sake of the build.
He's going to swerve on Swerve Strickland.
Exactly. Our favorite YouTube channel, I got some news for you. It's our own. Don't bury the lead, baby.
What is your YouTube channel? Yes, it is. Don't Bury the Lead -a wrestling channel on YouTube. If you happen to be watching us on another live streaming platform, yes, find us on YouTube and hit the subscribe button there. If you like the videos, hit like. As always, the full archive is open to you there. Browse through whatever you like. Leave us a comment. Leave us your thoughts. Click the like buttons when you like them. Give us your thoughts when you like them, or if you disagree with us. We like hearing that too. So, yes. All right. So are you primed for All In this weekend? Do you think you're going to be watching this pay-per-view? Are you muted?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, sure.
I'm gonna order the pay-per-view. I will be down the shore, so I'll have to watch it after it's over. So I'll have to skip the spoilers, but I will certainly order it.
There it is. 1 p.m. Eastern time here in southern New Jersey on Sunday, because they are over in the UK. It's a 6 p.m. start time there.
I told you I couldn't watch it with you, right? We already talked about that.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I thought I told you that, but wasn't 100%.
Yes. Rumors a potential big name. Fightful Select, Sean Ross Sapp is reporting that Sting is heading to the UK this weekend. He might be there. Fans have been speculating that Sting could potentially get involved in the coffin match between Darby Allin and Jack Perry. Speaking of guys who have retired, hey, big names. That's a very WrestleMania move, isn't it? Bring back the retired guys for a nostalgia pop.
Oh, yeah. He'll at least show up. Maybe he comes out with them during the entrance. They had an amazing entrance last year.
Yes.
They played Ride the Lightning by Metallica.
Oh.
And it was just perfect for those two to come out to that. And the entrance was really cool. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. You got Mercedes Moné versus the DMD, Dr. Britt Baker, who is a real life dentist.
Real life dentist.
And
let's play on this All In poster here. Name everybody. Bryan Danielson, Swerve Strickland. Is that Orange Cassidy in the sunglasses?
You got it.
Chris Jericho behind him. Is this Tony Storm?
You got it.
Okay. Mercedes Moné. Is that Jon Moxley? There's MJF and Will Ospreay. Samoa Joe. That's Christian Cage. This is Darby Allin. These are the Young Bucks, the Jackson twins. That's Jack Perry. This person here, he's kind of looking down a little bit. Is that Hook?
That's not Hook. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. It's just a bad picture. I'm not quite sure who that is.
Okay. This is somebody in Don Callis' thing, right? Is this Okada?
Okada. You got him.
Okay. And over here, is this the person challenging Tony Storm, her former best friend?
You got it. Yeah, Maria May.
Maria May,
yeah.
Okay. So I had most of these people.
You have everyone except the one I don't know who it is either. They might have accidentally put this person in because I have no clue who that is. Honestly.
It's Waldo. They forgot to put the red striped cap on him.
Yeah, unless it's Waldo.
Great All In pay-per-view coming up here. Pat McAfee says goodbye This comes to us wrestling news on X there. He said goodbye after the most recent Raw. He's going over to college football. So he will not be able to do Raws for a while. The crowd was really into him. He'll probably be back around the Royal Rumble in January when college football season is over. But what do you think his run has been like as back on the full-time commentary?
Commentary's been much so improved over the last
Okay.
few years. They've done things that make complete sense. They always did the 3-man booth, which is too awkward. So they switched to the 2-man booth. Cool. They don't have Cole both nights. You have him on Monday Night on Raw, and then Friday nights we don't have Cole.
Nope.
So that way they're not ramming Cole down your throat.
Yep.
Pat McAfee and Cole have a good relationship. You can tell he's just a big, loud goofball. And I got some news for you. Big, loud goofballs make for good color commentators in pro wrestling.
Big, loud goofballs are pro wrestling.
That is pro wrestling.
That's it. You know, that and big, loud goofballs are also the life of the party in karaoke night, right? That's just how it works.
Hey, Hulk was the life of the party. There's no not denying that.
We mentioned her before. She gave an interview to the Metro over in the UK. Jade Cargill urges WWE fans to be patient with her career progression. She's only been doing this apparently 3 years. She was really green in AEW, right?
Yeah.
And I think maybe some people got the wrong impression saying, oh, they're bringing over a former champion from AEW, from another major promotion. So she's ready to go. And maybe that was an unfair expectation. We talked about a little bit of her during the recap of tonight's SmackDown, but you know she's getting asked about this. There's apparently a little bit of heat and maybe impatience with her, and she's urging people be patient because you know what, regardless. If you give it to them or if you don't give it to them, there's going to be people talking anyway. The perception and what I see on my social media is so much love and so much appreciation. She's trying to be positive about it. For me to be in 3 years, 3 and some change, and be ranked amongst the top women who've been doing this for 10, 15 years, that says something. So I'm excited to be there. I'm excited to keep the ball rolling. She has a learning curve. She's learning. She's got to do more of the curve, though.
Yeah, they gotta figure it. I know they're saying be patient, but it's been a year. So
it's been a year. She's been in the WWE,
in the main event or in the main roster, getting a lot of TV time, and it's a bloated women's roster with some good workers. So if she's on there and she's only doing squash matches or she's doing high Jade and Bianca does everything, you know, that's a problem. But at the end of the day, you know, it's got to be tough to be her because all right, Zach, thank you so much. I have subscribed to you. Appreciate it, man.
Excellent work, and thank you for the contributions in the live chat tonight. We like hearing from people. Interesting questions.
Yeah, no, good questions from you. We really appreciate it, Zach.
What do you think of Jade Cargill? Do you have any opinion on her one way or the other? She's a hot topic just because she has so much potential. And she looks like she wants to succeed, but WWE, I don't want to climb too much into their minds there, but WWE seems to be slow playing the hand here.
That's a good way to put it. They're slow playing it. But at the end of the day, Dom, I think we're both on the side that we want to see Jade do well.
Yes.
So we actively root for the wrestlers. We don't actively root against them. We do
not want to see crappy wrestling.
We don't want to watch crappy wrestling, and we don't want to be one of those podcasts because they're out there.
Yes.
They're out there. No. I'm looking at all the old wrestlers that are all washed up that complain about everything. You know who you are, and they know who they are. You know, we know who you are, and you know who you are. So, anyways,
most importantly, we know who we are.
We know who we are.
We are. Don't bury the lead.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, we're rooting for her to do well. Man, it feels like a good fit for her to go to NXT, learn a little bit more, and then get pushed back up. But we'll see.
Guys who've bounced around to other great promotions. Two former WWE champions down in Mexico City, and a third one joining them, John Layfield, JBL, accompanied Nick Nemeth to Triple A Mania down in Mexico City, where this is basically their WrestleMania down there. It was Nick Nemeth versus Alberto El Patron. Nick Nemeth, the former Dolph Ziggler, Alberto El Patron, the former Alberto Del Rio, for the Triple A Mega Championship, which Alberto El Patron, as the challenger, won.
Mm-hmm.
Good night of big wrestling down there. Big names with this. This is a big shot of the stadium here. Looks like the arena is very nicely filled here. They're not really having to black out big sections of the arena there for it. So it looks like they got a good turnout down there in Mexico, Mexico City. And, they got some big names and guys who can really wrestle in their big championship there. JBL, Nick Nemeth, Alberto El Patron. Do you have a favorite among those three from their WWE, WWF days?
Oh, good question. I was not a big JBL guy.
Okay.
I was never really into him. Kind of annoying on the mic. And I wasn't huge on him. But I do have to say, now that he's away, I don't mind him as much coming back in this role. Nick Nemeth, of course, I have a lot of respect for him, what he did with the WWE, being the jobber that he was and being such an excellent worker. It's pretty cool to see him go to TNA and be a champ, and it just feels like cool. He's at a point in his life, he's made a ton of money. Now he wants some titles, right? So it's cool to see him be the champ. And I feel like I've heard way more about him now that he's in TNA rather than
looks like he's still in great shape.
Yep, absolutely.
He's not dogging it down there.
Mm-hmm. And then Alberto Del Rio, which is what he was known in WWE. I kind of liked him all the time, but he got fired for something. I forget what he was doing. He might have been on steroids.
Oh.
It might have been a drug thing.
Wellness policy.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember very much about these guys. I probably saw more of JBL than anything.
I digress.
Because he's older.
Because of an unprofessional conduct following an altercation that broke out with him and a company employee. So he got in a fight in the back locker room with an employee, not even one of the wrestlers.
That's the kind of thing that'll send you packing from WWE, won't it? Huh.
According to Del Rio, WWE social media manager Cody Barberia allegedly made a racist joke, following which the wrestler confronted him and asked him for an apology. When the guy refused an apology, Del Rio slapped him. That was seen as unprofessional conduct, and Del Rio was fired. Wow, slap someone. Yeah.
Huh. If only they had gotten it on camera, they could have worked it into an on-screen angle. That's what you get.
This is an old one.
Interview
Sorry,
here on with that is if we go back, that's the Great Muta.
Oh yeah.
Asking him who he would want to see from the WWE roster in Noah, the promotion over in Japan. He said Omos. We haven't seen Omos in many, many months in the WWE. Muta seems to be very high on him, though. Had a picture with him taken last year. This apparently was WrestleMania weekend, I'm guessing, April 2nd, 2023. So Muta was in town for that with Omos. He's very high on him. A big guy, decent physical athlete, has the look. What do you think of the Great Muta putting over Omos here?
Might be worth him to go somewhere else where he'll get ring time, and maybe he can develop a personality. He can develop something over there. Somebody could teach him how to wrestle, and he can become a really good wrestler. Honestly, sounds like a great fit. I'm not gonna lie to you, because right now he's just sitting on the bench, right? And every time he gets called up, he's just doing the Royal Rumble stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it makes sense.
Yeah,
Maybe
they're talking about how big he is and what a great talent and what a great attraction he might be over in Noah Wrestling there in Japan.
maybe they know that he's gonna go there, and they're just teasing a little bit here.
If the Great Muta gives you an endorsement, I would take it.
Yeah, but and it seems like they're pretty comfortable now, the WWE, letting wrestlers wrestle in different companies. There, I just saw this week, GCW. This is going to go off topic, but
Go
whatever.
for it. It's cheap heat.
GCW does this match. It's called Bloodsport. Have you ever heard of this Bloodsport?
I have not.
It basically, what they do is they remove the poles, and it's just the mat, and they remove the poles and the ropes, and the people that fight are typically have strong MMA or wrestling or jiu-jitsu backgrounds, and it looks like a real fight. And Josh Barnett is the person who runs it, and he's a UFC champion, and Shayna Baszler participated in this over WrestleMania weekend because she didn't have a spot. But then they were like, "Yo, can Shayna Baszler go to GCW and do this in Philly?" But she's right in Philly, so she's like, "Yeah, I'll do this match." So it looks like they're letting people that aren't getting a lot of time do other promotions.
Okay. Yeah, if they don't sense that it would be a threat to the WWE, if there's something to be gained, more to be gained than lost with it, yeah, they let them do it.
Have you ever heard of GCW?
I have heard of GCW.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're not much of a threat though to the
That's
WWE.
Game Changer Wrestling.
Yeah, Game Changer Wrestling. Our buddy Matt Tremont at one point was a tag team champ there.
Oh,
yeah, it's all the heart.
Matt Tremont from Southern New Jersey here, where we are located.
Yes, we rented a building from him many years ago for
Cross
several
paths
occasions.
with him doing New Jersey Championship Wrestling. Yes,
that's right. He knows who we are, whatever that means.
Well, that's an endorsement there. Just shout out to hello Matt Tremont if you're watching. we enjoyed your venue when we were doing New Jersey Championship Wrestling. I enjoyed being Doc Lester, and of course, you were the longest reigning NJCW champion there, John, as the Bonsall Street Bomber.
This is quite true, and we haven't done it in years. So Nick Righteous might be the longest reigning, just because we haven't done it, and
because he had the belt when everything went away.
When everything went away, yes.
But he hasn't defended the title. Who does he think he is? Roman Reigns?
He should have the title stripped at this point. I would hope that since he was the champion, he would be the one that gets it all going again. But whatever.
No, he wants to continue his title reign.
Yeah, I know. I think we had a message too from Zach.
We love you, Nick. If you're watching.
Yes, we absolutely love you, Nick. She's a great wrestler, and then I think she's one of the strongest women.
Is that for Shayna Baszler? If so, I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking about Shayna Baszler, so I believe that's what Zach was referring to.
Excellent. Yes. Shayna is she's well positioned. She's kind of in the women's tag team title picture at the moment with Zoe Stark, and they are aligned with the returning Sonya Deville, who is back from injury.
The thing with Shayna Baszler is she's done a great job differentiating herself from the other athletes on the roster.
Yes.
She's got the UFC look down, the MMA look down. She is kayfabe for real tough. So, that she got that going for her. And yeah, so she's a good wrestler. So
yeah, it's good to have a niche.
Yeah, she's got her niche, and it's not like a comedy jobber or something. It's
right.
It's a good niche to have. What's your what's the next topic here, Dom?
I believe that's it. It's pathologically frugal. It's unseasonably warm. It's cheap heat.
Cheap heat. All